Jaime Camil, you play telenovela star Rogelio De La Vega in Jane the Virgin, and you yourself have a background in telenovelas. And even though the show is much more, a satirical take on that whole genre, could you still relate to Rogelio's experiences?
Yeah, a little bit, yes, because I mean, even though I do way more films in Latin America than telenovelas, the projects I've done in television are more like sitcom kind of feel, like situational comedies. But I do have a lot of friends and colleagues that, act like this. So I can like relate a little bit with them. But I think the show plays a beautiful homage to the telenovela culture and world that happens in Latin America.
Yeah, the show pokes, a lot of fun at telenovelas, but as you said, with its, twists and turns and cliffhangers, the show itself is very much, a tribute to the genre. Yeah,
Yeah.
what's the response been from people who watch Jane the Virgin, who are telenovela fans, compared to people who came to the show not really being familiar with telenovelas?
That's a very funny question because I don't think the show, it does has like telenovela elements, but it's pretty much a mainstream show for the U.S. mainstream market. I don't think it relates to the telenovela audience. I think it does relate to the Hispanics, to the Latino audience, but at the same time, it's a very brilliantly written show by Jenny Erman and her team of writers, where the fact that Gina's family happens to have a Hispanic heritage, it just happens to be there. Gina's could be from any part of the world, to be honest. It's just a very well written show for human beings, not for a specific demographic or a specific ethnicity. I think that the show is just for people, for human beings.
Yeah, but it is kind of nice to see that this show that it's not really put forward as this kind of making any kind of statement for Hispanics or anything like that. But this is a mainstream show that has been widely embraced, and it happens to tell the story of three generations of Latina women, and that's kind of a really nice development.
It is totally, and it is because I mean, like paraphrasing Gina's acceptance speeches, Golden Globes, whatever. She's always saying, "I want my culture to be perceived as heroes," and I think that's beautiful. The fact that the show is not portraying Latinos in a caricature kind of way, like we're Latinos, so we have to say the word fiesta in every single line, or we have to be always screaming and talking like this because this is how Latinos talk. It doesn't have to be that way. We're just normal human beings, and that's a good, a very good point that Jenny is achieving with this show.
I know your character Rogelio. On the surface, he's fairly vain and obsessed with his image.
Fairly.
To be polite, he's a slight bit of an egomaniac, but he's also really actually really lovable, which is sort of almost a contradiction at times. Did that lovable side come through on the page when you first read the script?
Definitely. Actually, it's very well written. When they ask me, what would you like for Rogelio to be for the second season? I'm like, listen, I'm not greedy. This is just a brilliantly written character, and I will be very selfish if I ask for more. It's just very well balanced. So the character is very well written. You have to be not a very good actor to screw it up, to be honest. It's just very well written, and I'm very privileged to be playing this character that might be perceived as a comic relief, but at the same time has a beautiful heart, and it's so honest and so sincere. And when he has these beautiful heartfelt scenes with Gina and with Xiomara, he's a family man. He loves his daughter, and I think that that balance is what actually helps Rogelio, because if any human being tells you, I want my daughter to have the pleasure of knowing me, or you have two options: either you slap him or you hug him. And in this case, I think Rogelio, because he's so sincere when he delivers these ridiculous lines, then I think you kind of love him and not hate him for it.
It's a lot of the early attention for the show. A lot of the focus was on this breakthrough performance by Gina Rodriguez. Of course, she won the Golden Globe earlier this year. But were you surprised by how much Rogelio really caught on with fans and audiences and critics?
Well, I lost you a little bit when you spoke about Gina, but Gina, I mean, she's amazing. Not amazing, not only an amazing actress, but she's an amazing human being. Just working with her is just beautiful because she's the head of the project, and she just I'm gonna make up a word. Permeates. Does that word exist or no?
Yes, yeah.
Oh, nice. Woo. Okay, well, she permeates this like energy and this love and this, this thing that she has full of being a positive role model and everything to all the team, either to all of us as cast members, the crew, the executives of the network. So, it's very easy to work with somebody that has your same work ethic or your work morals. I think that makes it very easy. And yes, like I was telling you before, I think I'm very privileged and lucky to be playing a character that is very well written, and it could be very shallow, it could be very superficial, but thanks to the beautiful scenes that Jenny and her team of writers they write for my character when he's being sincere to his daughter, or when he's being sincere when it comes to speaking about his sentiments, when it comes to family and those kind of things. I think that's a great win for the character, and it makes it very likable.
Your other major relationship on the show has been with Andrea Navedo as Jane's mother, Xiomara, and while Jane is very grounded, her mother, is a little bit more eccentric and free spirited. What's it like for the two of you to play that different dynamic as actors?
Andrea is amazing. We have so much fun together. We were playing the first episodes. We were talking and we were like, you know what, Andrea? I think your character is like the female Rogelio De La Vega. And she was like, yeah, I totally agree. And so because there's a scene that I'm like, you know what? Don't give up. Imagine what a disservice it would have been to the world if I had given up. He's very serious when he delivers his line. And then Andrea looks at him and goes like, yes, like you're totally right. So of course they complement each other in a beautiful, precise way that I cannot imagine another actress other than Andrea Navedo playing Xiomara, because she's just amazing, and as well she's very funny, and also she's also a brilliant actress. So when you have these beautiful scenes of the Villanueva women when they come together, the three generations, and they talk about life and love, oh my God, those moments are just like brilliant moments on the show.
Later on in the first season, we met another member of the family, Rogelio's mother, played by legendary actress Rita Moreno. What was it like working with her? Was it intimidating when she first came on set?
It was very intimidating because she's Rita Moreno, man. Can you imagine just working with her? And when I was young, I'm still very young, by the way. But when I was younger in Mexico, I played Bernardo in the theater, in West Side Story. So of course I was doing this Bernardo, and Chantal Andere, which is a very good friend of mine, an amazing actress in Mexico. She played Anita, Rita's character. So after the table read, I called Chantal and I'm like, Chantal, I just met Rita Moreno. And she was like, what the fuck? Really? My God, is she real? Did you touch her? It was like just amazing experience to work with her. But she, it's just, imagine being on a set with Hollywood royalty. It's just surreal, with one of the very few EGOTs in the world, and it was amazing. But again, she was a beautiful human being, and I think the energy that the show has it's contagious to anybody that comes to the show and is part of our beautiful journey. And Rita wasn't the exception. We had a beautiful shooting with her, and what I love that the writers very cleverly accomplished was showing that many of the breathe in, breathe out of the Rogelio, or the things that Rogelio has, come from mom. So that was very funny.
Rogelio also develops this unlikely sort of bond during the first season with Michael, who is Jane's ex fiance, and he's of course in that love triangle with Jane and Raphael, the father of Jane's baby. So there's this whole thing like Team Michael, Team Raphael, whose side are you on? Do you have an opinion personally about which team you're on?
Team Michael, man, obviously. Come on. You have to be Team Michael as well. No, I just, I don't know. I think, yeah, Rogelio has been Team Michael since the beginning. Uh, I just think that, Michael is like the safer choice for Jane, or, he's been around for so many years. And I think Rafael is a classic, like Latin hunk, whatever, that will, just impress women and etc. So I think that for any dad, me being a dad of two, and I have a beautiful daughter and a beautiful boy, I will never approve probably of any guy dating my daughter. And that's going to be easy because my daughter is going to live inside of a dungeon until she's 43. So I'm not going to have to deal with, dating, whatever. And when she goes out at 43 and she comes back pregnant or married, then so be it. I'll be cool about it.
Yeah, it's funny. I feel like we're almost sort of directed towards the sweeping romance with Rafael, but I too find myself sort of, generally speaking, Team Michael, just because it feels like he's steady and he's reliable, and that's, people sometimes think that's boring, but I think no, that's actually a good guy.
She's a very good guy. Now, yes, thank God, in the season finale and the episodes, leading to the season finale, he went to the 99-cent store and he bought himself a pair of balls. And, that made Michael a little more exciting because he was really in the safe, sailing in the safe, kind of like I am the safe choice kind of ship. But, girls, all the girls, we all know they like the bad boys. So it was good that Michael showed some personality these last episodes.
You yourself, your career, you've been a singer, and we did get a little bit of a Rogelio singing on Jane the Virgin in season 1. Do you think we'll see more musical Rogelio in the future?
Man, whatever. I'm very happy. I'm a very happy actor that, I wanted to sing and I wanted to have a career in singing, but then I said to myself, listen, you are just an actor that is able to sing. So they don't have to dub you whenever there's a singing scene, if your character needs to sing. I don't know, whatever Jenny wants to explore with Rogelio, I'll be super happy to just execute it because she's just brilliant. And we are in very good hands. Jenny, her team of writers, our producers, the network, we're in extremely good hands. So whatever they decide to do, I'm game.
What was it like doing that? I remember the whole, the baby shower episode where you're singing about your big strong arms and your baby's baby. What was that whole song like to perform and shoot?
Imagine being an actor and they throw at you this ridiculous song, and they're like, "Okay, now do it and be serious about it." And this is a song you wrote for your daughter, and he's like, "No, this is a joke, guys. Come on." So you really have to make it, real. But shooting that episode was very funny because then we're talking about the fact that Rogelio slept with Jane Seymour's character in whatever, where is it, in Tampa or whatever. So Gina and I were cracking up because there's a line where Rogelio was like, "Hey, I sent her 2 Rogelio baskets and 2 types of smoked meat." And whenever I went like smoked meat like that, Gina would crack up. So that was a very fun episode to shoot. Yeah.
Jane the Virgin has been, as we talked about a little bit, embraced on this award season so far. Gina Rodriguez won the Golden Globe, but you yourself were nominated recently for the Critics' Choice Award. What was it like getting that recognition for this big kind of crossover role for you?
Thank God, man. No, it was just a dream come true. It's surreal. It's really surreal. Then it's just beautiful that the critics have been extremely nice and kind to the show. They have written beautiful stories and reviews for the show. I thought that was going to translate more at the Critics' Choice Television Awards, but it didn't because we won 0 awards. But it was funny. I was doing the red carpet and it's I don't know why you're supposed to feel awkward at the Critics' Choice, but I truly didn't feel awkward. I was like, in a way, it feels natural to be here because the critics have been extremely kind to the show. Then they gave us 0 awards, and then it became awkward when the ceremony ended. But no, it's amazing. It's just a blessing. The show is full of love and full of positive energy, and it's full of blessings. And we're super thankful to you guys and, the critics and, of course, the audience that they have embraced the love with so much love.
It's interesting. This season, Rogelio was also up for an award, and he lost also to his professional rival Esteban. And having had a lot of showbiz experience yourself, and then of course later going over 3 at Critics' Choice, what was it like playing Rogelio's experience at that time, going through the anxiety of that kind of awards event?
It was actually, we don't expect anything. To be honest, just the fact, not paraphrasing Rogelio, because he would say the nomination means nothing, only the awards matter. Well, in this case, it's not like that. We don't expect to win. We don't expect, just the fact that we're recognized, it's a truly honor. It's a true honor itself. Of course, it feels amazing if you win and you go up there, but we don't do this. The result of our work is not to get awards or stuff like that. It's just to make people happy and to touch people's emotions. So I think that the recognition means a lot. It's amazing. You feel blessed and you feel thankful, but it's okay. Sometimes you get recognized, sometimes you don't get recognized. If you win, it's amazing. If you don't win, it's also amazing. Life goes on. And that day at the Critics' Choice Award, I was playing with my kids home and goofing around with them and fighting and whatever, just to remind myself what is really important in life, which is family and your kids and stuff like that. But it was amazing just to be at the award ceremony. Was amazing. And let's see what happens with the Emmys. I mean, we are, we have high hopes and we are excited about it, but you also need to be realistic and let's see what happens.
As you mentioned, the Emmys are coming up, and you were actually featured in this For Your Consideration ad, which was very true to Rogelio. You posed nude with a baby leopard, and the headline said, "Dear Emmy voters, you're welcome." Where did that idea come from? And what was it like shooting that?
Oh my God, that's I'm going to ask you, because that's a very good question. Do you remember where that picture played in the episode or not?
Oh no. I don't remember that from the episode. I just remember that from
Xiomara is the first episode. Xiomara is Googling my character. He's Googling, and then this picture appears in the screen, and then Jane is passing behind her, and she goes, "Ooh, what a cutie!" And then Xiomara closes the computer screen. So it was a picture actually that we used for. Now, imagine if I want to be naked like that, please stop talking to me. No, this was actually a picture that was used in the episode with Rogelio. And when I was coming up with the idea of doing this ad, I talked to a friend of mine and to Jenny, of course, to have their input, and we all liked it very much. So we just ran the ad, and thank God it generated what we were expecting, like a lot of buzz and people talking about it. And it was all like in Rogelio's humor, of course. And it was a picture used in an actual episode of the show.
You have a passionate fan base, and they actually tweeted us.
You think?
Yeah, a little bit.
So let me say hi to them. If I don't say hi to them, I'm going to... Probably they're gonna. So let me say hi to all my Camilocas from Mexico, from Brazil, from the US, from all over the world. Hi, Camilocas. Oi, tudo bem?
But they also asked. They sent us a bunch of Twitter questions, and so I thought I'd ask you some of those on their behalf. Sure. First off, there's at Jaime Camil, Argentina, wants to know what has been your favorite Rogelio moment so far.
That's a very difficult question because there's so many. Every single time Rogelio is on the screen, he has a lot of fun. And Andrea and Gina and myself, we have a lot of fun playing these Rogelio scenes. But I think that probably the episode that I like the most, it was a very well-balanced episode, was when Santos dies. Gina's character, then she needs to write the Dan Santos death scene. And I think it was a beautiful episode because it was full of comedy, and at the same time, it was full of heart and love. And I love that episode. It was one of the episodes that I like the most. But again, every single scene that Rogelio is involved is kind of like fun to shoot.
And another question from Lucecita Homez. She asks, how does the whole Emmy campaign for the show, the support from the network and the studio, how's that made you feel? Is it overwhelming or unexpected?
Well, actually, I've had a lot of support from the network. Definitely, the consideration campaign was actually done pretty much by me, but of course the network jumped on it and supported, and then went ahead and ran more ads in the LA Times, and it was like a collaboration of everybody, but it was fun. It was fun. I thought about this campaign. I really wanted this campaign to create a lot of buzz, because it was a very limited campaign with very limited budget. So we really had to make something that will impact, and I think we did it. Yes.
At Jaime Camil Brazil wants to know who you identify more with, Fernando Mendiola, your character from La Fe Más Bella, or Rogelio?
I don't know. They're different projects. They're different projects, and they're different characters. It's very difficult to compare both of them.
At Helen, Clara wants to know, if Rogelio was inspired, this character was inspired by any of the particular characters you've played on telenovela specifically in the past.
No, I don't think so, because like I said, the characters that I play more, or the projects that I do the most in Latin America, are more sitcoms, like situational comedies. So I don't. But I come from Mexico City, and where the telenovela world is so powerful. The networks in Mexico, their revenues, like 85% of their revenues come from novelas. So you can imagine how important they are. So I do have a lot of knowledge on the subject, and a lot of friends that act in these novelas. So it was easy to create a character.
At Crazy Ale 11 wants to know if you're planning to do any more music, or if you would plan to do any more telenovelas in the future.
I don't think so. It depends. You have to be wherever you are blessed to have people offering you work. Basically, right now this is in Los Angeles, so I'm very privileged to be in the very limited list of acting, like working actors in Los Angeles. That's just a privilege by itself. But let's see what happens. I will never turn my back to my market, to Latin America, because I am who I am because of my 20 plus years of career in Latin America. But right now, job is being offered in the US, so I'm committed to Jane the Virgin to the fullest. And let's see what happens. When wherever they offer me work, I will be there with a smile.
And Happy Bee Meryl Streep actually wants to know, how is life as an actor in Los Angeles?
First of all, I love you, Meryl Streep. I love you. I'm a big fan. And is that the Meryl Streep, or that's another one?
It's probably another one.
Sorry. Okay. How is life in Los Angeles? Amazing. We love it. We love being in Los Angeles. My family enjoys it a lot, and my kids enjoys it a lot. And you have a lot of freedom, and it's just a beautiful town.
Well, I want to thank you so much, and your fans, I'm sure, will thank you so much for talking to me today. And I want to wish you the best of luck at the Emmys. I definitely have my fingers crossed for you and Rogelio in this Emmy season and in next season of Jane the Virgin.
I really appreciate it, man. Thank you very much for the interview. Thank you for your time, and thank you for enjoying the show and for championing the show since the beginning. You guys have been amazing. So I'm the one who should thank you for all the love and support.